Recorded live from the Washington, D.C. metro area. You're listening to Seasoned for Success, hosted by Rob Ross.
You ain't first, you're last.
Learn from a melting pot of industry leaders and find the right ingredients for success.
Anyway, Kearney, how's your night going?
It's going great. I'm not in the room with you boys, but we're here in spirit, so ready to rock.
We'll see you tomorrow, though.
Love that. We are back.
Yeah,
Things are opening up.
Our intern's starting tomorrow, which we're all excited about. So,
which is part of success, internship, right? You gotta. So tell me, Chris. We'll start with you. Let me. Tell us a little bit about how you got into mortgage banking, right? Tell us a little bit about, your upbringing and into basketball, pro basketball, because it's such a common thing to do an
right. Spoiler alert.
Alley-oops and then debt to income ratio.
I think he saw an ad in the newspaper.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Groupon ad.
I know there is. Right. Yeah, there isn't really a straightforward story into this industry, I've learned, but mine is as unique as anyone's, I guess. So, from Northern Virginia, Centerville area, and went to college locally in DC, to have a lot of ties in the area, but I played basketball in college. You can't tell on screen, but I am on the taller side. So just 6'7" though. That's it. That's all.
I don't like to take photos with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
like
in the NBA
commercial.
I think in the NBA you're known as a tweener.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I'm the average height of an NBA player.
Wow.
But I did not make it that far. I did make it though to play in Spain. So after college at the Catholic University of America in DC, I played professionally in Spain, southeast town in Spain. Played there, and then came back home to Centerville where my parents live, and ran into our company's current president, Pete Cameron, who's a family friend. And he plucked me from the streets, literally, to say that you would be a great fit for what I do. And in my head, I'm thinking, what do you do again? I know you're in real estate, mortgage. I know you're something like that.
Right.
So he literally plucked me off the streets at the gym. So here I am.
At the gym? I didn't know that. I didn't know that portion of the story.
What gym?
It was at the gym. Yeah, he was just leaning back, just looking at everyone walking by, and just thought, you know what, that guy.
Yeah, he was training for the Ironman, which he does like every other day. How old is he?
Right.
What, almost 60 or something like that?
But pushing 60.
No, I've known Pete for a long time though. So we just kind of ran into each other. But yeah, it was at the gym, and then here I am. He said, I got a guy for you to meet. He's out of DC, Rob Ross. I think you guys should really hit it off. And then I hung up the shoes, and the rest is history.
You still have those shoes?
I do. I cry every night looking at them. But
They have some battle scars, I'm sure.
So tell me, so first off, I had no idea you met Pete at the gym. It's not surprising. I mean, I think Pete meets a lot of people at the gym, and back then, not surprising you were at the gym. So, not so much now with baby and wife in hand.
Yeah, a little different now, but that was where it all began.
Little CK3, as we call him, is already taller than Alec here. So it's
pretty much.
And
I'm not terribly short. I'm 5'9" with no Dr. Scholl insert. Okay, so with Dr. Scholl, I'm 5'10".
Yeah, he'll be 6 months soon. So we're
6 months. God, it just goes so quick. 6 months.
6 months soon. So
wild. It goes fast. You blink. Robbie turns 13 in 9 days. So it goes. Let me tell you, it goes quick. It goes quick. So what? You said going into college, you weren't highly recruited, right? You didn't have D1 offers, right?
Right. Yeah. Just walk-on spots. So different D1 schools said that I could come in as a preferred walk-on.
Okay.
Which just wasn't to me, that was basically just saying, oh yeah, we don't really want you, but if you want to come, you can. So I wasn't, wasn't really into that. So I wanted, to go somewhere where I was wanted, somewhere where I was going to play. Yeah. And it all signs pointed to Catholic. So it's perfect fit.
What makes, off subject, what makes some of these, you'll learn on Season for Success if you start watching these episodes that I'm a giant Mountaineer fan. What makes, like, we have preferred walk-ons every year at WVU, right? And they'll get in the game where we're up by 32 versus, a nobody, and I hate that term, but versus, a lesser school than a Big 12 opponent. And, they'll get the guy in at the end of the game, and the crowd goes nuts, and he takes 1-3 and hits it, and like the place erupts and the fans carry him off the court. And it's such a cool thing to see. But that guy getting carried off the court was probably a hell of a basketball player in high school. I mean, you start reading about these folks that are the walk-ons, and they're leading their high school, they're leading their region with like 35 points a game, and they're like just complete stud basketball players. What makes someone like that? What do you think, Chris, makes someone like that want to go to WVU and ride the pine? Because that's what they're going to do. In a lot of, I'm not saying there's not the story where someone gets injured and they step in and they become a superstar and it happens, but more so often than not, they're riding the pine and that doesn't happen. Right. So, what do you think, what do you think makes someone do that versus go to a smaller school and be able to play and compete? Because I'm a competitive person, and I can tell you, if I had to sit on the sideline and cheer my team on, I would absolutely do that because I'm a good teammate as well. But man, it's so much more fun, I'm sure, being in the game, right?
Right. Well, yeah.
So the pressure's there too.
That's the whole thing. And the funny thing is that coaches are extremely upfront about that. So they're not, pitching a dream to these kids saying, hey, you can come in as a walk-on, but you never know what could happen. You might get in, catch fire, but that's not what they say. It's you're not going to get in. We have scholarship players that are ahead of you that that we have all this time into. So they're very upfront about it. Huh. So the kids that do want to be in that role, they're basically falling in love with the high level D1 dream of, being a D1 basketball player. There's a lot of pride that goes into that. Being in that position. So kids fall in love with that. It's so surprising how many people or how many players in high school that think they're the best thing in the world because they've been told their whole lives that they are, that, they couldn't ever dream of playing Division III or Division II basketball. Like, it just seems like such a step below what they have in their mind of what they're going to do. So there's a lot of that involved in it as well. But I didn't really care about any of that. And I was never supposed to be that good of a player anyway. So just playing in the next level was good enough for me. But a lot of kids, it's either pride or they just want to be in a big school, in a big program.
What was your, when you were in college, so you went to Catholic U, what was your aha moment? What was your moment where you finished the game and you kind of, I'm sure you always knew you were good at basketball, but and a great athlete, but what was the moment where you just said, holy shit, I'm really good. Like, and actually I think I'm going to keep getting better. Like this is, I can't wait to lace them up and get back on the court. Like, what was your breakout moment? Hold on. We're losing. We're
good question.
I got audio back a little bit.
Oh, my connection.
A little better.
We got you now.
Any complaints will be directed to Verizon, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
We got you.
We'll drop the customer service number in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Well, no, I mean, to answer the question, it's kind of funny because I was very, very much a late bloomer. So athletically and just, so like my freshman year of high school, I didn't even start on the freshman basketball team. I didn't play JV or varsity. I had a very roundabout career where I didn't really play. I didn't start until my senior year because we had a really good team, Westfield High School. We had a really good program.
That sounds extraterrestrial.
So I just didn't, there were so many better guys.
Hey, CK, I think your baby monitors in
and senior.
I think your baby monitors in here.
Oh my God.
Why it's doing this?
What kind of fiber optics does Joe Rogan have? I want to know what he has.
Aren't you like 7 blocks from the White House?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
I was really getting into the story.
I was too. My palms are sweating.
Yeah.
So we got Westfield High School, awesome basketball.
You didn't start
team.
until your senior year because you had a great team.
And then your senior year, did you come into the year as the known best player on the team?
No, I didn't. We had another teammate of mine who he started as a junior, and our coach thought that he was going to be, our go-to guy. Like that's, that was the guy. He had no idea what I would, come into or what I would turn into that year. So yeah, no, I there were low expectations. I don't think we were expected to finish in the top 3 or so in the conference, but we made the, championship game. And I mean, we had a really good year, 20-win season, all that. But yeah, then, I ended up, getting some accolades that, got me some looks for the next level. And then college. Funny enough, it was a little bit of a similar story where, freshman, sophomore year, we're kind of learning, big learning curves for me. And then, junior year, kind of a slow start, but it started to come together towards the end. And then senior year just, exploded. So for whatever reason, in high school and in college, I needed 3 solid years just to rev up and really get my feet under me before I took off.
Well, ironically, it feels like the mortgage
I was
industry.
just going to say that.
It feels like the mortgage industry for everyone.
I was just going to make that correlation.
Not just
right.
you, because you killed it out of the gate in the mortgage industry, and just as Alec has, but killing it out of the gate in the mortgage industry still takes you 3 years to really hit your stride.
Yeah.
So maybe you already seem like a good dad 6 months in, but maybe you're going to be the rock star dad in 3 years. So
Wait till that kid turns 4.
Yeah, that kid's not going to have any CK3 has no idea what type his dad is until he turns 4 years old.
That's it.
So what what was your work ethic like? Like, do you feel, were you the first one in, last one out of the gym? Were you middle of the pack? Did you feel like you put in the extra reps?
Well, I had to again, because I mean, and a lot of people say, oh, you're 6'7", you're you have that gift anyway, but I wasn't some crazy talented naturally basketball player. I really worked at it. After my junior season in college, our season ended a lot earlier than it should have, so it gave us an extra long off season, and I basically told myself that there is no one on the team, or there isn't anyone in the entire conference that was going to outwork me that season.
Go to Spain, play basketball. You were there 1 season. Homesick at all?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some of that. And the crazy part is because you have half of your day before anyone back home was even awake. Like you wake up, you go through half your day and half your routine, and you can't even text anyone or call anyone because everyone's still asleep because there was like a 6-hour time difference. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely learn to make friends, learn the language because you have to. There's no one else. I had a couple of American teammates, but the town that I was in, they didn't speak much English at all. So you really just completely have to immerse yourself in the culture and the people. And it was wild. It was very cool.
So did you have a roommate, or did they give you each your own place?
No, they did put us up. So, we had, free housing and everything, but no, I lived with a Spanish teammate and also an American teammate who was from California. So the 3 of us, we all had a spot together.
That's fun. That's fun. Do you
Yeah, it
talk
was
to
cool.
them? You still talk to see any of them? Talk to any of them or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't speak, Spanish very much anymore, but I do read it all the time. Like on Twitter or on Facebook.
That's so
reading
wild
how
to
other
me.
guys are doing. So I try to keep up with it a little bit that way. But yeah, some of those guys are still playing. And
Wow.
it's been 7 years, 8 years.
Where's your? Do you have your jersey?
Yeah, I have it.
You gotta frame that. Put that in your new basement, man.
It's somewhere. I have it in here somewhere.
I have my letter jacket framed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that badminton?
Yeah,
Was that-
yeah. I was actually a varsity curler. So
It's a good fit for you.
thanks.
Yeah. You got drafted overseas for that too.
I did. Yes.
Dude, you gotta frame your jersey. Put like a photo in there and
I like it.
get that.
That's a good idea.
1000%.
Might have to steal that from you and hook you up for Christmas.
I just had the pleasure of seeing Kearney's new place, which was awesome for your birthday and CK3's baptism. It was like too many events in one. It was almost overwhelming. But yeah, dude, the man cave in the basement is money. Got the nice 70-inch. You got the little wet bar down there.
You got to be ready for everything, but it's a very fine line to cross between a man cave and a shrine to yourself. So you don't want to. It's a very fine line. I'm figuring that out still. So I don't want too many pictures of me in there.
Well, I did steal a picture that was hung up, and it's actually in my office of you stuffing someone.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
did see that.
Yeah. So
That's
It's
awesome.
spread.
little piece of Kearney in the home office.
So fast forward, come back home, lifting at the gym, see Pete Cameron. He introduces you to me. Your first year in the mortgage business, you weren't necessarily part of the Ross group. I was just your branch manager in DC. Working in that DC office was definitely an experience for the ages, right? So
Definitely
Even I can talk on that,
yeah.
which I came much later,
met some characters.
but they're probably going to be watching this. So
I hope so. So other than the fact, here's the greatest part. So anyone new to the industry, obviously you don't get an office, right? We were at 14th and K Street, prime real estate in DC, a couple blocks from the White House.
awesome office.
12th floor, overlooking K Street. It's prime real estate.
Definitely.
Not cheap, whatever. $60 a square foot plus, right?
Yeah.
That might sound cheap. New York City, DC, it's pretty middle of the row, I guess. But but nevertheless, got 12 offices. We had 15 or so people. I told anyone new or anyone producing under 15 or 20 million a year in annualized volume, I said, you're in a cube. You got to be in a cube. Sorry,
Keeps you hungry too.
Stay hungry. And ironically, fast forward about 15 years of my career, I was in a cube, I was in a closet, I was in a conference room. I actually found I worked more efficiently when I didn't have a big fancy office. So, but we put Chris in this cube in the back. We being me, I guess. I put Chris in this cube in the back, and he literally, I felt like his knees were in his throat because it was like this much space.
Yeah.
It was like
There was no depth.
it was like a mini Volkswagen clown car with like 50 people getting out of it. And Chris was in the back. I mean, you
He's like typing on his knees like this.
Yeah, exactly. So but you went through the mortgage, you went through a course, you learned the mortgage lingo, you learned from some of coworkers walking down the hallways and going through all that. And then tell me, where do you feel, because you just did 60 million this year, that's top 1% in the nation, right? Crazy numbers. 60 plus million is insanity. I mean, 30 plus million is insane. 60 plus million is through the roof. Where did it start clicking for you? And kind of the interesting part, as these two guys know, I'm 42. I've done it 20 years. I'm still waiting for it to click, right? And I say that in a funny way because, as you guys know, when you're in sales, driving force is really never being content, and not being content it doesn't mean you're not happy. Like I don't want people to get confused. You can be happy. You can be happy that you're working hard. You can be happy that you have your health. You can be happy that you have a job, especially your health. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything, right? So you can't work if you're not healthy. But at what point do you feel like it clicked where you're like, okay, this can be a career. Like not only can this be a career, but this can be a great career. This can be a lucrative career. This can be, and hopefully you guys realize this, and on Season for Success here, if you're listening, you're gonna realize this in a sales position. The best part about sales too is you call your own hours. Doesn't always feel like that because we work 80 hour weeks, but you call your own hours. If you have to leave, if you have to take off midday to do something, you do it. You just work, you grind in the middle of the night. It's approaching midnight here when we're recording this on a Monday night. So, you do what you have to do to succeed. Was there a point where you were worried? Was there a point, is there a point where you're still worried? Is there, tell me a little bit about that.
Constant state of fear.
I'm still worried every day a little bit,
Yeah,
for sure. But I think that's just kind of the nature of sales in general. You're just, you're always looking for the next one. How do you keep it growing? But no, I mean, you jokingly said this, Rob, but like I still wouldn't say it's 100% clicked for me yet. Parts of it, of course, have figuring things out, but going on 7 years in the business, I guess, for myself, which is insane. But yeah, you just, it's piece by piece, and it really, this is kind of where basketball translated for me very well. I think here is that there's always someone better than you, or there's always something to work towards. No matter how good you're doing, there's always somebody that's just like that much better than you, and it drives you nuts, and it keeps you up at night, and it just makes you want to work that much harder. So that's absolutely helped me here. The first couple of years, you just, it's kind of flopping around trying to figure out what all the acronyms meant. And now it's kind of, you're building a foundation and actually, figuring out how to do certain things. So, yeah, I mean, it's still very much a work in progress for sure, but I think that's kind of always going to be the case.
And I preach all the time. It's if you ever think you have it figured out, that's when you're probably in trouble, right?
Yeah,
that's when you're probably in trouble. The moment you actually think you have it figured out and you take your foot off the gas. I've watched it. I've watched a lot of sales folks in my industry, in our industry, for a long time, where they have one good month, they kill it. It's like it's all of a sudden it's the first of the next month. It's golf. It's buying a Rolex. It's doing all this stuff, and not that you can't buy a Rolex, but but doing all this stuff, and it just falls off. It falls off. And it's just constant roller coaster like this, right? And in sales, it's everyone's goal is how are you as high as possible, and then plateauing and staying there. But you really can't plateau because you're still going to have ups and downs. It's still ebbs and flows. It's still, in mortgage, it's still market rate sensitive. If you have a refinance, which we just, 2020 through COVID here, and we're not out of COVID, not out of the woods yet by any stretch, right? But I mean, we're not wearing a mask right now, so I guess that means something. I think if you were sitting here 6 months ago, I think we'd both be getting our temperature checked. So we've made some progress here. So we're already in a better spot. But I mean, no one could have predicted 2020 in our industry was just a complete boom. And God bless everyone else out there who struggled and is still struggling through 2020 with loss of job and loss of family, and most important, loss of family, right? But just the struggle that is real and is still there, and we're going to be recovering from a while. And I feel kind of guilty, right? And I have felt guilty at times through 2020, where our business in essence tripled for most people. I would say the average loan officer nationwide, their business probably doubled, and I would say some really good ones, it tripled. And that's kind of where we saw it as a team. And it humbles you. It makes you appreciate what you have. And but I can tell you, we work for it. We still work for it we're working for it right now, right? And it's that driving force, and that's why I've always enjoyed athletes, whether it's curling, as you said,
Yes,
or basketball or whatever. But I have a massive respect for college athletes. Someone who can go to school, study, go to class, get up for 5 a.m. workouts, go to 2-a-days, but travel schedule, basketball games, just everything you have to do, and then still cram for your tests in the middle of the night. And thank God Red Bull gives you wings, because I know I need it from time to time. I might need one here tonight. So,
one, yeah.
So it's so what for you, what do you see as your driving force moving forward, right? Other than the competition, because
I know where this answer is going, by the way.
Because it's you're only as good as your last month. That's the scary part of what we do. Right. And you say that
goes to zero.
Yes, you can have a bad month and you can recover quickly because you're only as good as your last month. So you can get away with a rough month, but you get 3 or 4 stack up, all of a sudden you start doubting yourself. And you've not had that, Chris. You've not had, in my opinion, you've not had 3 or 4 rough months in a row. When your first couple of years, it never counts in this industry. It's learning the acronyms. It's DTI, ATR, WTF, whatever. It's just trying.
There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of it. So it's just trying to learn the industry in general. But what's your driving force moving forward, other than you said that person that's just ahead of you, and maybe that person that's just ahead of them? Is it do you like the chase? Does it fulfill a little bit of that competitive stuff you're missing from basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely does. All loan officers, have to be competitive to some degree. Just, again, you're in sales, that's kind of the nature of the beast. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is. In basketball, there's a saying that if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, because a lot of everyone else is working on their game and getting better and trying to improve, and teams are always tweaking to try to beat you and adjusting. And so you always have to be evolving and getting better. You have to, or you're going to have a big setback. So that's kind of, just how my brain was wired from all of that. So that's kind of just what I'm continuing to do. Just trying to find ways to get better, grow bigger, do different things, and, just satisfy that competitive edge as much as possible. Cause I told myself coming out of college, I had no clue what I wanted to do after basketball, no idea.
Hey, guess what? We still don't.
Yeah, right. It could change tomorrow, but
that doesn't. Yeah.
But I had no idea what I wanted to do. But I did know that whatever it was, it had to be something where you had to work for it, because I knew that I would. No matter what it was, as long as I loved doing it, which thank God I do in this industry. If I love to do it, it is, it's gonna work out. Work out.
You're not the type of guy that's and again, absolutely nothing wrong with this. Everyone's got a different place. I have plenty of friends that ask me 20 years in, I'm still in sales. And they're just I could never, it's not for me, right? It's not for everyone. But Chris, I couldn't see you doing anything but that, right? If you would drive is challenging, and as much as you stay up late at night now for multiple reasons with CK3, but if you had to clock in and clock out, and I always when I do this, the clock in, clock out, I picture the Flintstones where they walk up to the, literally you're clocking in and clocking out. If you had to do that, I just don't see how
you'd be pulling your non-existent hair out.
You'd be pulling it out. It'd be pulling it out.
Exactly.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna
continue.
I'm gonna go get 2 Red Bulls.
Okay,
so
cool.
We're gonna keep going with it.
Well, Kearney, just to piggyback on that, and honestly, I thought there was gonna be a little bit of more of an answer to that as well that you're gonna follow up with, but I think inevitably the milestones in your life contribute to how aggressive you are in the industry, right? So obviously there's a competitive nature to myself, athletes, or someone who's just sales oriented ultimately, but whether it's getting a dog, getting a puppy, getting engaged, getting married, having a kid, right? I mean, I don't have any of those right now, and I like to think that I'm overly aggressive. So I can't even imagine when I have a kid or get married, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's a dependent of yours, which is almost terrifying. But I honestly, you've always been overly aggressive, and that's what that's the Rob Ross University and Hard Knock School, right? But I also think you're wired that way. We're all wired that way.
Yeah.
But seeing you after having a kid, especially, it's, oh my goodness.
You always think that you're working as hard as you can.
Yeah,
you
until
add
then,
another,
right? Yeah.
You add a kid, you add a wife, you add different things along the way, and you find other ways to work harder. And so, that's absolutely the case.
It's
deep in the archives was this.
Found
the Red Bull. I had to go on a.
How old are these? These things never expire. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Chernobyl in a can. So I had to go on a 2 refrigerator search for these. So, but we're.
Well, I was just telling Chris when he said that obviously sports played a major role in, how he operates as a loan officer and being competitive and trying to be better than the next person. But it's also milestones in your life, right? I mean, it's getting the puppy, it's getting engaged, it's having a kid, like that all ultimately contributes. And like I told him, like at least I know how I am, I know how you are, and I know how Chris is. We're all wired in that competitive nature, and we want to do better every month and beat everyone else out. But I think that inevitably contributes, right?
Oh yeah.
So but I was telling Chris, I have none of those. I didn't get a puppy like Kearney. I haven't been engaged yet, and I don't have a kid. So maybe somewhere in Spain I do. I don't know.
Yeah. That's Chris. He's the one that played. He's the one that played.
Actually, maybe Germany. I spent some time in Munich and Cologne. So.
You have a good beard for it. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's
So I think part of your next step, my competitive nature sees you training some other folks, hiring some people, bringing some people in, and passing that torch of knowledge that you have after 7 years, which again, for those not in this industry, 7 years and more, it's like dog years, right? It's 7 years in mortgage is 49.
7 years with Rob Ross in mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dog years.
That's an important component to include. No doubt. There's no doubt about it. Because there are other loan officers in the industry that, again, I think you have to work pretty hard and be pretty competitive to succeed in the mortgage industry. But to be and operate at the level that we do, it's 14-hour days. I mean, constant. I take my laptop to wineries on the weekend. It's like my cell phone.
Hey,
right?
so basically what Alec's saying is if you need a pre-approval and a really good interest rate, hit him up on a weekend after about a half a glass of Chardonnay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
That's just
or whether it's a family event or whatever it is, right?
No,
doesn't have to be a winery.
It's anything.
I went axe throwing, which was super awesome, and guess what? Sent out a pre-approval letter right after. So
well, cutting those rates in half.
I lined that one up. You're welcome for that. I was a layup.
That was an alley-oop to Chris.
Yeah.
There you go.
To Chris. Well, whatever you did with your internet there, jump back on, was cleared it out, man.
There you go. That's all we needed.
That was
Just
it.
had to get all the bad jokes out of the way first.
That was it. That was it. So we were grinding along as a team. We had I've always had interns, and we have one that started today with us. So we'll be seeing him tomorrow. And I've always,
that boy better buckle up,
get ready. But I've always enjoyed interns because I started as an intern in the mortgage industry. That's where I started, and 21 years ago at this point, I was intern for our CEO Ed Dean, and had to have the privilege of working with him for a summer, and then training under him for 6 months. So I know what it's like, and I know how hard it is, and I know if you have a good mentor and you have a good leader, right? I hate the term boss, but if you have a good leader, that's helping you and really enabling you, right? Allowing you to do stuff. An internship is not just about, listen to what I say here, not just about making sure my coffee's hot. You as an intern, you've got to bring your boss, your leader, you got to bring your person some hot coffee. Chris, you don't drink hot. I don't even know. Like, I thought the day CK3 was born, you'd be like crushing a pot of coffee to the face. So
I still don't understand how you don't drink coffee.
Are you lying? Is it still no coffee?
No coffee yet. I'm not ruling it out, but I haven't gotten there yet.
But you do like Red Bulls.
I'll have a Red Bull for sure.
All right, I'm Amazoning a case to your house. Like, literally tonight before I go to bed, we're gonna ship you a case of Red Bull. We'll have a drone drop it off. Jeff, I'm gonna have Bezos drop it off your house.
Yeah, you have on speed dial, don't you?
Yeah. So, we needed help, Chris. We had a good year. As a team, we had, we cranked through 100 million. We finished 2016 first in the company. We were the top 1% nationally and top 200 nationally. Actually, we were probably in the top 8% in 2016. And
yeah, it was top 200 for sure.
Yeah, doing well as a team. And the funny part of all this is, I looked at Chris. I said, "Man, how do we grow and not work 80-hour weeks?" Well, what we figured out was how to grow and continue to work 80-hour weeks. So.
Go hand in hand.
And again, part of this is figuring out work-life balance. And sometimes you don't have it, right? Sometimes it's tough, or it's I always say it's pick two, right? Pick two. And I did this at a sales meeting. I said, do you want to really enjoy time with your family and be a good husband, be a good father, do all those things, be a good boyfriend, be whatever, right? Enjoy time with your friends. You want to be a good person, enjoy that. Do you want to be the best you can at work, just rock star, top 200 in the nation, top 1% in the nation, top 5 at your company, whatever your goals are, top 10 at your company, whatever your goals are, do you want to be that, or do you want to sleep? And every day, 7 days a week, you can pick two. And there are days where sometimes you just crash and you got to pick sleep. It's just like, I don't even think you pick
body's
sleep.
a machine.
I was going to say, I don't think I've actually ever picked sleep. I just say
it just happens.
There's a bumper sticker. I think it said shit happens. Mm. Mine says sleep happens, and it's not chosen.
Can't control
it. Literally, I just like fall asleep, like sitting at my desk, and I'm out for like 5 hours. It just, you hit complete exhaustion, and you got to catch up. So, and that's the day that I chose sleep and family probably, and work might suffer that day. But thank gosh you got a team, and we can pick up for each
rotations.
Other. But it's on any given day you can really pick two. There's not enough hours in the day to pick three, right? Mm-hmm. And
I've always liked that.
So sometimes you have to do that. And everyone's got their own philosophy. And hey, here's the cool part about this is as I go through, we're in episode 1, as I go through episode 10 and 12 and interview different people, I'm hoping people change my mindset. I'm hoping people. I want to know the secret sauce. What is the secret sauce? The secret sauce, Ed Dean, I walked in his office, and Ed's my brother-in-law, for those that don't know, right? So I walked in Ed's office, and I go, a couple of days into my internship, or actually full-time, not my internship, I go, so, what's the secret sauce? Like, what did you do to get where you are? He was the president of our company at that time. So what did you do to get where you are? Like, I've known you my whole life. I've known you worked hard, but like, how did you get to where you are? And he goes, Robbie, calls me Robbie, right? Not Robbie. He goes, just work harder than everyone else. And I go, yeah. I mean, I got that. I have good work ethic. I always had good work ethic in college and probably not so great in high school. I probably could have had better work ethic in high school. Had a lot of fun with my friends, but probably could have better work ethic, just learning life, right? I really learned that driving force I found in college and as a mountaineer and have continued that through life. But Ed's like, just work harder than everyone else. I'm like, yeah, okay,
it's pretty blanket.
Yeah, I got that part. I got that. But what else? And he goes, no, I don't think you understand. Just work harder than everyone else. And I sat there. I'm like, no, I got that. But give me something else. And he goes, door's right there. Go work harder than everyone else. And that was it. I walked out.
He also said something that has rang true with me. And I think it ultimately applies to everyone. Is if in the mortgage industry, especially, if you can't be good, be there, but be both, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I said back. He goes, if you can't be good, be there. And I go, wasn't it better to be good? And
yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but if you're so young and you can't be good, he goes, just be there.
But it all circles back to the availability as a loan officer and the customer service and having your phone on you all the time and picking up your phone. I mean, that's
being there.
I mean,
being
that's
there.
it.
Chamber of Commerce event, BNI,
Yeah.
BNI Business Network International, networking groups.
Yeah.
Happy hours. Thank God for some happy hours sometimes, right? We need those. But when you're doing happy hours with coworkers and real estate agents or referral sources, it's huge. So, so we needed help. Long story short, right? I went down a rabbit hole there, which we do all.
There's so much substance.
So much substance. A lot of rabbit holes. So looking at that, Chris, we needed help, and so it was time for an intern. So, along came this freshly shaven, no beard, young kid.
Did I not have a beard?
You did not when you first started.
Really?
Yeah, the beginning of your internship, no beard.
Wow.
No beard, but that was at 8 a.m.
Chest hair was still there. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was to start the day.
That was to start the day. Yeah. By 3 p.m. just after lunch, he did full beard, so it was fine.
Oh man.
So, blessing and a curse, is that what you say?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I could tell you this. I can't grow a beard. I'm I always say I'm like Johnny Depp on meth. That's what I say. I can't.
That's his go-to.
That's my go-to. That's my go-to statement there.
Carney can grow out a little bit of a beard.
A little bit.
You look good with a beard. You can see
this hair works better than this hair.
Yeah. Hey, we can. I'm following you, man. We can transplant some stuff. We can figure this out. Money
can solve that.
Yeah, we'll shave his out. Apparently, we just need to transplant Alec's beard and it'll grow nonstop. So, so we needed someone. We hired an intern and put this guy here to work. And I was actually fearful because I said it's when you grow a team in the industry, sometimes there's not enough to go around, or you're worried about, is the month going to be slow? And for me, hey, as a team leader, I have no hesitation in telling you guys. And I feel I've always been very honest with you guys. Not always easy. I didn't say not hard, but I said honest but loyal. And, we have Claire Fleming as our transaction manager on the back end, who's just an absolute rock star and backbone of our team as well. And we can't do it without her. But it's on the front end on the sales. We bring Alec on. We have to make the decision. I have to make the decision. What do we have enough room? Right? But I knew you were going to be good.
So we made room.
So we made room. But I promised you this. I said, whether when you were done with your 3-month internship, I said, you've got a job waiting on you after college. I said, you've got a job, no problem whatsoever. I said, you're going to be great. And I said, whether it's with my team or somewhere else in the company, I need a few months to figure that out. So, and I kind of knew it was going to be with us, but I had to.
I will say real quick, another loan officer, we won't disclose the name, was trying to scoop me. He said, no way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did say that. That loan officer wouldn't have been good for you. So
I had no intention to work with him.
Yeah. Well, we're happy you stayed with the team. So
you kidding me? It's family. Come on now.
Yeah. So we so along came Alec. So Alec, tell us a little bit about getting to your internship. So I want to hear from the womb to internship.
Womb to internship. Yeah. I'll try to provide clip notes. There's a lot of substance there.
Mama Gagne.
Yeah. Well, just to kind of kick off where I met our CEO, and that's really where the entire story starts. So when I was 15, I worked at a local country club that was in my parents' development. I was 15. I wanted to get a job. I thought that was a great opportunity. I'm a huge car guy, so I always saw very nice cars driving through there. And I said, there's probably plenty of money over there, not to sound any kind of way, but, that's a good environment to be in. So started there and started as a valet. I was actually the only valet to ever work there that did not have a license to start with. So I was actually a cart boy for about a week and a half, and they knew I was big into cars. And ultimately, my manager came up to me. He was like, "Hey, there's a valet that called out today. You can drive stick, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He puts me up there, and that was the end of that. So I worked valet from here on out. Worked there for about 4 years. And long story short, that's how I met our CEO, Ed Dean.
But hold on. So worked there for 4.5 years while going to school?
While going to school, yeah. So obviously I was 15 and in high school. I went to
but just during the summers because you didn't
year round. So
okay.
Year round. I went to Bishop O'Connell.
Okay.
I played varsity soccer there. So all my other friends were going out and partying, Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday nights, whatever it was. I worked, during the week, the weekends, but really did take a lot of pride in just working. And I saw the opportunity there, right? So I was balancing soccer. I was balancing working at, the country club.
In high school?
High school, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So parking cars, country club, varsity soccer, and school, all in high school.
All in high school.
Okay.
But ultimately, what rang true there was just honestly, what I saw was all these very successful businessmen, and I saw really the opportunity and it's as simple as this. It's just knowing their first and last name, acting like you care, and obviously caring, but also just, getting to know who their family is.
Caring to a point. You can only care so much.
Yeah, but understanding, and the biggest part of working there was honestly getting their car out before they were even up there. So there were instances where they were downstairs eating dinner, and I would go peek my head down there. They were signing their check. I would run upstairs. Their car would be on. Heated seats would be on. Everything. It's just going the extra mile, right? And that's something that Ed Dean really saw and offered an internship. So
you had his car ready, huh?
Car ready to go. When he wasn't having a private driver driving the car.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say with Ed likes his cars just like you. So I think with his fleet, I think he probably went and got Ed's car ready when he was halfway done with his dinner.
Yeah. It wasn't Ferris Bueller, but
took it for a couple laps. And, and then brought it up. So
yeah,
like, man, this engine's really warmed up. So
yeah. So
okay, so did that. So were you still valeting and working at the club when you went to Liberty University, which is in Lynchburg.
Yeah.
So but you lived in Lynchburg for what, 3 years?
Not 3 years, no. So actually when I actually went to Nova while I was working at the country club and did that, honestly, I didn't really take it too seriously at the time, to be quite honest with you. I was really focused on work. Once I graduated high school, I really put a lot of time into working at the country club and trying to scale my network and my Rolodex there and getting to know everyone and trying to build a network. And that's really what I focused on. So after that, I actually went down to JMU in Harrisonburg, lived down there for 2 years. I was going to school down there. Honestly, getting a little experience of the college life, which was a great time. Don't remember too much of it.
Good time. You need that.
Yeah.
You need that.
And honestly, you learn a lot. Honestly, when you I can't even imagine Kearney, who was overseas in Spain and doing all that fun stuff and whatever. But
you wouldn't have survived in Morgantown, so don't worry.
That's fine.
Yeah. No one survives. No one survives in Morgantown.
My tolerance has gone up
since place. JMU's a fun college town.
Yeah. So
it is.
But went down there, and honestly, from the time that I was working at the country club and really not taking a full load of credits, I was a bit behind. So I actually left JMU, came back home, and I actually went to Liberty Online. So I did Liberty University Online, and the reason I did that was because I was able to take 18 credits every semester, even over the summer. So what that allowed me to do was expedite my college degree and actually graduate on time. Actually, I was a semester late. But on that last semester, I was interning with Rob Ross. So while I was trying to do 18 credits, I was trying to learn the mortgage industry. I was trying to get Rob's coffee. I was trying to do all the above, right? So,
dude, coffee was great.
Yeah. So
no complaints.
I've always looked at myself as a hard worker. I think you guys have witnessed that. But I dislike the school portion of it. I wanted to get out in the workforce. I wanted to make money. I wanted to be hungry. I wanted to grind, and I found the quickest way to do it. So,
well, that's a prototypical story to becoming a successful mortgage banker, because there's a whole bunch of success. Well, in life in general, there's a lot of people that don't go to college, right? And are massively successful.
Sure.
But you did it. You went to college. You know, I told you.
You actually required me to check that box off.
I did require. You know, I knew he had his last semester. I knew he was chopping at the bit to get a job.
I know. I was like,
You do not get a full-time job offer until you get that degree. So that was my. I wasn't going to let you. Part of that was teaching you how this industry works. And as we say, I wasn't going to let you get to the finish line and not what?
Oh, of course
not break the ribbon.
Yeah.
And so we say, you know, I wasn't going to let you get to the finish
I was
line.
going to, irrespective of that.
I know.
But also, I was overly anxious to get in the mortgage industry, and because I mean, I saw what it can offer. I saw the flexibility, but I also saw how hard you have to work. But I also saw how lucrative it can be, and who you meet, and the networking, and all that.
There's nothing wrong with saying I want to make some money, right? And that's part of success is defined. So that's again
in many different ways, but
it's defined in many different ways.
Yeah.
And here's the beautiful thing: everyone's opinion of what success is to them is right.
Sure.
Right. So no one's wrong. No one's ever
It's
wrong.
relevant.
It's relevant. It's right. If someone's success is, I don't care about being in sales. I want to work 5 hours a day, and I want to go, you know, whatever, do philanthropy work or whatever, like
save the manatee,
whatever. Yeah. So I love manatee. Right. So it tastes great. So,
we'll have to cut that part out.
No, wait a minute. I'm joking. So, but you know, but whatever you want to do, success is different for every person.
It's relative.
Right? But I can tell you, in mortgage, in our industry, you see the top people, and a lot of a lot of them are cut from the same cloth. We're wired the same way. You're working until 2 a.m. You're up early.
You can't teach work ethic.
It's really hard to say turn it off, and that's something that I've always struggled with. I've gotten better at later in life, but you know, when you come home from work, to be able to walk in and go, honey, I'm home, kids, I'm home, and really hit the off switch. Yeah. It's hard to do sometimes. And that is something they say you can't teach hard work. Very true. I really think I've yet to been able to teach someone how to work hard. I could teach anyone mortgage or Mortugese, the new language, right? I could teach anyone mortgage.
Yeah.
I could teach anyone all of the fun acronyms. I could teach anyone I can give you, here's my business plan. I can tell you what it takes to become successful. I'm going to lead you to water.
Yeah.
You got to drink, right?
Yeah.
And I've even tried to drink Red Bull, whatever. I've even tried to drink for some people because I wanted them to succeed so much that I even tried to drink in the water.
You wanted them to succeed more than they wanted to
and sometimes it doesn't work. Right?
Yeah.
So it's you know, I think it's important to understand that and figure out how you want to get there. So fast forward. So you get a job offer.
Yep.
We have a fun lunch that day to celebrate.
Offer letter in hand.
That was
awesome.
And you know, and the rest is history, as they say. But so fast forward, you're 3.5 years in, including internship, right?
Yep.
Okay. And
excluding internship.
Yeah,
full time. So my very first internship actually wasn't with you. It was actually with another loan officer at our company.
Yes, that's right.
And I actually had 2 internships.
Was that the summer before?
2 summers before.
Okay.
So I was 18. My first internship with MVB Mortgage.
So you had internship, mortgage.
Yep.
Internship outside of mortgage, and then internship mortgage with me. What was the middle one?
My first internship ever was with another member from the country club. It was Strategic Solutions. It was actually like a government contracting firm, which it was just not my cup of tea.
Okay.
So ultimately, that's when I kind of poked Mr. Dean a little bit and was like, hey, like, what's going on with your company? Like, I would love to get into the financial services industry, honestly, I was looking to be a financial advisor or honestly get into mortgage. I saw
that's what I was starting out as, financial advisor. That's what I wanted to do.
And I saw that as a financial advisor, I think it ultimately takes a lot longer to build a book of business and see the income reward on that front. I would say
it can be for sure.
I would say that I saw more of a path to hitting the ground running really, really fast in the mortgage industry and seeing, so
which has proven to be true.
Which has been great. And honestly, there's tons of things to attribute that to, mainly, the Rob Ross Hard Knock School, which has been a rodeo, which is great. But
we're taking new applications.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so I actually, to kind of circle back on that story, I had internships with MVB Mortgage, and then my final internship, I heard through Cindy that I would do really well with this guy named Rob Ross, and I had no idea who you were, no clue. So I said, okay, I put that in my mind. Went to school, then I reached out to Ed Dean, and I said, hey, I'm about to graduate here soon. I would love to grab breakfast with you. I've heard great things about Rob Ross. Can you, I know you're an extremely busy individual. Can we carve some time out? And I feel so grateful that he even took time to have breakfast with me, knowing his schedule. I mean, that is outrageous. I'm forever grateful for that. And I just sat with him. I said, hey, I heard really great things about Rob Ross. And it was honestly a pretty quick conversation. He was just like, yeah, I'll get you in with it. That's fine. Like, okay.
That was that. Yeah.
And then you talk cars.
And then here we are.
Yeah, I got a call the next day. He's like, I got a really great guy that's been parking my car at the country club, and he's I think he's gonna be a rock star, and he's gonna be your intern for the summer. So
under your tutelage.
Yeah. So and I don't make my interns just make copies, and you guys know that. So
of course not. No,
it's important to
hands on.
That's right. So fast forward, to this point, what's the best advice you think I gave you? If you had to pick one thing I've told you to do, and maybe it was what I was told.
It was, yeah. Oh, I mean, there's
other than, and Chris, this question's for you too. Other than just work harder than everyone else, let's take that out of the equation. We've established that.
That's tough because there's personal advice from a personal life perspective.
No, straight work.
I know, but I'm just saying I'm trying to rack my brain because you are a figure like that where you bestow your wisdom upon us from a life perspective, an industry perspective, everything.
Chris just got life insurance.
Yeah,
I made him.
So,
great idea.
Yeah, it's all encompassing.
Encompassing. I'll teach you how to make a great Kahlua and cream, a Red Bull vodka, or get life insurance.
Okay.
Which you don't want to put either of those.
Jack of all trades.
You don't want
on
to
the
put
application
on the application for the life insurance. So
yeah, exactly.
You gotta be careful with that. So,
that's tough.
That's a tough one. Okay, Chris, you best advice I've given you.
Yeah, I mean, I love the work harder than everyone else story. I think it's hilarious and true at the same time.
It is.
If you can't be good, be there. Yeah, you've hit all the good ones.
All the good ones.
Yeah, those are
all right. That's fair.
Yeah, there's a lot. Definitely a lot of little pieces you learn along the way. So
yeah. I always say this one too. Win the day. Right.
Oh, it's eat the frog too. That's another good one.
There it is.
Yeah. So
eat the frog. So what is eat the frog?
Eat the frog is make the most difficult call of the day first thing. Whether that's a low appraisal call, whether that's someone who's having debt to income ratio challenges. I mean, there's everything in between, right? So
that's where you hold the skin tight on one little area and you just rip that Band-Aid
Yeah,
off.
it's true.
Eat the frog.
Right.
I would say that's another very good one.
How bad is your day when you know you have to make a challenging call to a client? Well, we got that light. Let's move it here. So it's like, it's like there's an orb in the glass behind me the whole time. So when you have that hanging over, and I've done it. Everyone's done it. This light's gonna drive me nuts. Everyone's done it, right? How bad is it when you know you have this call that you have to make, and you're like, I'm gonna call at 9 a.m. and literally you find yourself, it's like 4 p.m. and you finally make that challenging phone call, and you realize that all the other stuff you wish you would have done, you either didn't do or like you half-assed it. You just didn't do it. You didn't do it well, and then all of a sudden you make the call, and I'm curious. Okay, so I know what I'm gonna say when I make that call. Not to them, but I know I know the result that I always get. So what do you think I'm going to say there? When you make that call,
There's a solution.
There's a solution. Okay, Chris,
Right.
Is that what you're thinking? There's a solution?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Don't
I
ever
always
call
say
without a solution.
is the call, in my opinion, is never as bad as you build it up to be.
Oh, for sure.
That's
Right.
the biggest part that I've learned, and it only took me 20 years to learn it. Is one of my past team members that worked for us, Jamie. She always said, Rob, I got a really challenging call to make. Can you make it? And I used to make some of them, and then I remember I started making her make them. I'm like, you're never going to learn until you make the hard phone calls. And I made you guys do it too.
You have thrown me into the. I mean, that's the best way to learn.
You have to. And I'd give you some advice on how to handle the call and whatever, but I'd still make you make it. You're still sweating and freaking out as you have to make the call. But the call is never as bad as you build it up to be. Always call with a solution, because there's always a solution.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know if you say the last part of it is you have to do it, right? So don't let that's why it's eat the frog. Eat the frog. Get rid of that done. And you can't ever wake up and win the day. I don't remember who I heard that. Sebastian Rivera works for us. Just an amazing loan officer.
Beast mode.
Man, I'm gonna have to interview him. Like an amazing individual. He's someone, you know what, Sebastian, if you watch this and hear this, you're going to be a guest, and you're going to be on
you
my
just don't know
podcast.
it yet. You know it now.
You just don't know it yet, but I know you guys would tune in to honestly listen to that.
Oh, for sure.
Sebastian's dude's just amazing person, amazing loan officer, and even a better guy, and a better individual, and just I mean, he's literally at home right now. He's probably done his like 500th sit up of the day. And we always, he went skydiving earlier. He raced his motorcycle at Summit Point. Yeah.
And then he worked out.
Skydiving, races motorcycles.
Yeah.
Like, talk about a Red Bull commercial.
He should race for Red Bull.
Exactly.
Like, he's like, oh man, Rob, I rode the Ducati today. Is it Ducati?
Yeah, it's Ducati.
Right? See, I don't know anything about bikes, but rode the Ducati today, and then jumped out of a plane and did a couple tucks and flips, and then the parachute opened. And
the first one didn't open, and then I had to let the
emergency one, and then opened it up. He's like, "How's your day going?" I'm like, "I had coffee.
I spilled coffee on myself,
and I walked my poodle, and." I saw a plane fly over. Was that you? Like, I don't know. Right? Like his days are so much more exciting than mine. Like, but it's,
but also to touch base on just like the tough phone call. Right. And as at least in my experience, it's gotten a lot easier to make those phone calls. Right. Because like when you're 1 year in or 2 year in, like, you're still really learning the ropes of things. Right. And Rob's having me make these like super difficult calls, throwing me into the fire, whatever. But that's how you learn. I'm forever grateful for that, because it's made me the loan officer I am today. But they get easier, as time progresses and every day.
And this is going to sound familiar. I've said to both you and Chris, I go, Chris, you got to make this call, even if it's my client. We all help each other with each other's clients, but the way our team works is we do a lot of volume, and Chris might work on some of my referrals or vice versa. We help each other out. We work as a team. But I've told Chris and Alec, I've said, here's a challenging call I need you to make. Here's the scenario, right? Here's the solution. Here's the scenario. And I said, I know I can make the call. That's what I've always told you guys. I know how to make the call. Yeah. I need you to know how to make the call. Yeah. And I said, so me doing it for you, I'm just enabling you, right? That's what it is. And
right. And I'll never give you a call that I haven't done 100 times already.
And that's the truth, right? And there's been a few that even in the most recent couple of years that I've taken, maybe for both of you on certain things, there's been some challenging clients. I mean, I tell you this, in sales, and my clients that are listening here, so 99.9% of you, I love. And you guys are phenomenal clients, and you give us great reviews, and we love you. But there's probably
it's that 10%.
It's that 10%. Not a big fan of you, and I'm okay saying that. And if you're watching and you're that 10%, you probably know who you are, and that's okay.
Or just don't be that 10%.
Yeah, just don't be that 10%. Just change. Eat your frog during the day, and don't take it out on me. So it's it's sales is I'll never forget. I'll give this as an example. And this one was really fun for me. I had Rod Rahoviak, sales, and I'll say his name. Great friend of mine, great guy. Rod has been someone I met him the first day I got in the industry. So literally my first day of work in mortgage on my own as a full-time employee, I met Rod, and we've worked together ever since. So Rod calls me in. He was a sales manager at a real estate company in DC I was working with. He called me in his office, and he goes, Rob, he goes, and I've been partners with him for a long time. He goes, hey, agents love you here. The whole team loves you. We know you and your team work hard. You support us. You work 7 days a week, and you do a phenomenal job. And I said, oh, thank you. Awesome. And I was like, is there like a but here? Like, did I do something wrong? Why am I in your office? And he goes, well, we have this one agent. And he goes, no, I'm not going to mention names. He goes, we have this one agent that I keep trying to ask him to like give your team a chance. He has another loan officer, another person he works with. And I'm flexible. I'm like, hey, if you have your own team, I get it. No big deal. Like, it's part of the industry. And I always say, give us a shot sometime, right? Because we're here supporting you and providing you lunch and we're doing all your trainings and like, give me a shot sometime. And this and he said, the agent came in and he wanted to talk. He's like, I want to give you a shot. And he sat down and he said, I need 100% guarantee from you that there will never be a problem. This is what the agent said to me, that there will never be a problem, that every deal you ever have is going to go smooth and get to closing, and, that you're available 24/7. And I said, okay, well, here's what I can promise you. You're going to get 100% effort. So I can give you 100% there. That we're available 24/7. If you miss me 2 seconds, I could be in the shower. So leave me a message and I'll call you right back. But between our team, we're available nonstop. And I'm going to give you back 99.9% happy clients. And he goes, well, I want 100%. And I said, there's a lot of different personalities in the world. And I've met clients, and by the way, this real estate agent at the time had only been in real estate about 2 years, if that. And I'd been in mortgage.
Yeah, you need to preface the story.
I'd already been in mortgage about 15 years. And I said, listen, and he had never been in sales, actually. He was an engineer before. My dad, God bless him, was an engineer, right? Love engineers, love the way their minds work. I have an engineering brain in a lot of sense from a process standpoint from my dad, right? And I just looked at him and I go, it's 99.9%. I said, one thing I'm not going to do is get off on the wrong foot and lie to you. I'm not going to tell you 100% because there's always variables that can happen. There's a curveball that can come play, right? Yeah. And I said, so I just can't do that. And he goes, well, let me ask you a question. And he goes, when you get on a plane, do you want 100% guarantee your pilot is going to land?
That's a ridiculous question.
And I just said, well, yeah, that would be wonderful. And I said, but last time I checked, there's been a plane crash before. And he kind of, and Rod kind of put his head down and I said, think of it this way. If you want to use a flight analogy, I said, so you've been on a flight, right? And he goes, yeah. And I said, has there ever been turbulence? And he kind of goes, well, yeah. And I said, okay. So what I'm telling you is 99.9% of the time is going to be great. There's that 1/10 of a time that we're going to have a little turbulence. And I said, but one thing I can guarantee you, it's not always the best result. We might be missing some landing gear and a wing might fall off. But we always land the plane. Yeah. Okay. And that's how I ended the conversation. He never gave me a shot. So long story short, yeah. I had the best comeback in the world. We always land the plane. Right. That should be our new mantra as the roster. We always land the plane. Yeah. Right. But
if I recall a detail from this story,
still never gave me a shot. Yeah. So you can't win them all.
If I recall a detail from this story is that he actually got out of the industry, a year or two later?
Yeah. A year later, he was already out of the industry.
Yeah. I mean,
so it happens. But my point in this for, the reason for this podcast is we want to grab an audience of folks out there. We want unscripted but Alec, Chris, just give them an idea real quick of how I prepared you for tonight's podcast. Yeah. Like what list of questions did I give you?
It was a text message that said, log on, we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, legitimate. There was literally zero structure, agenda, anything. I mean,
yes.
Rob called me earlier. He's like, hey, come over a little bit later. We might do a podcast. We may not. And then Kearney called us. And then Rob just said, we're hopping on.
Yes.
We're all doing a podcast right now.
That's what it was. So, but I want it to be real. I want it to be unscripted.
It's authentic. Yeah.
And I want people to learn from it, right? For us, I want people to learn who we are from our business standpoint. And to know we're just regular hardworking folks, right? That's who we are. And dedicated and care about our families and care about our referral partners. And I even care about the guy that wouldn't let me fly his plane. Right. And I wished him the best when he moved to Miami, don't let the door hit you, but it's whatever. I wish him the best, and it is what it is. But 99, I think if you could do anything at 99.9%, you're going to do pretty well. What was the stat the other day? I said, the most shots ever missed in NBA history, Michael Jordan. Right? Most shots ever made in NBA history, Michael Jordan, something like that. I think that Chris, you probably know the stat better than me, but it's like you can't miss a shot that you don't take. And
right.
Sports analogies go a long way for me, and I love that stuff. And
he was in the PGA, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, he was. He was a professional bowler. I have my new Air Jordan bowling shoes. Take flight.
Yeah.
Right? So, but anyways, anything else you guys want to?
This was awesome. I mean, I had fun, honestly. Like, this is completely unscripted. There's things I learned about Chris Chris, we talk
every
day.
Every day.
Constant.
Right. Yeah, I learned something new too. Yeah, absolutely. Very fun.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, I want to do it again soon, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, next guest on here, I want to be on. Like, I want to talk.
Well, you're not allowed on with all my guests.
Well, come on.
Like, he's like one of the guys. I can have you back on as a guest. I can have you.
Gotta tune in.
I was gonna say, I don't know, man. It's like, this is Season for Success by Rob Ross. This is your show, man.
Hey, this is my show. This is the one and only episode. And we're gonna loop this bad boy about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And see where we can grow it out to. But no, we're let's hopefully Zoom says it's still recording, so we'll see what's going on. So. Yeah. But we will.
Well, before we record the next one, we're going to send Verizon straight out to DC.
We're sending Verizon out the trucks.
Yeah. Right here.
I got a buddy up in Boston, Tom Kolatosti. Tom, I'll forward you this and let you know there's a shout out to you about 2 hours in. And
I'm not going to give you the minute.
I'm not going to tell you the minute and time. And he's
you're going to make him watch it.
He literally is one of the highest guys up in Verizon, but I think we did a Zoom call with he and his wife when he was my neighbor down the street here in Ashburn, and they just moved to Boston recently. But we did a Zoom call with a couple couples, and our internet was kind of out on this little internet game night thing through COVID. And he pulled out, we're like, Tom, can't you fix this? And he goes, actually, I have an app on my phone. Pretty sure I can shut down the internet to the East Coast by hitting this.
Oh my God.
And so I think there's some real stuff out there where people can get kind of like gas prices right now.
Yeah, so. He said the entire East Coast, but it was literally just Chris's residence.
Yeah, it was Chris's.
Yeah.
Right on Chris's house. So. Well, we'll
thanks,
see.
Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah. So we'll see if someone can edit a little bit of this, and we'll keep a majority of the fun stuff in here. But I appreciate you guys. And here's the funniest part. As soon as I hit end here, I'm pretty sure we're going to jump back onto Microsoft Teams and do a couple things here. So, all right, brother.
All right, brother Kearney. I'll see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. Manana.
All right.
All right. See ya.
You've been listening to Seasoned for Success.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from the show, and we'll be back soon. In the meantime, make sure to like, rate, and review. And don't forget to spread the word and follow us on social media. On Facebook at Seasoned for Success and on Twitter at Seasoned Success.
Have a good one. Bye.
Till next time.